Would you love to add $20,000 to $100,000 per month without working harder? If the answer is yes, I'm going to teach you here today how my clients are doing just that with a handful of high ticket clients every single month. So my name is Desiree Stafford, and I help coaches and other transformational business owners attract a steady flow of high ticket clients and break through to 5- and 6-figure months with simplicity and ease. And I am so excited to share this training with you because I'm going to give it to you straight. I don't like fluff. I like to get straight to the point, right? And I want to give that to you here today because I truly believe that if you are in the business of transformation, that your work is priceless. And I believe that you should be compensated in a way that actually reflects the value that you add to your clients' lives, in a way that allows you to really afford a lifestyle as big as your purpose. So if that's what you desire for yourself, that's what I want to show you how to create for yourself here today. Okay, so let's get right into it. What I want to first share with you is how you can do this without all of the things that you think that you might need right now. So for example, if you think that you need paid ads, you don't. I know that when I first started this business, I spent a small fortune on paid ads. Now, while I did make some money, I really didn't like it. And quite frankly, I make a lot more money without the paid ads, which is why I do everything organically. You also don't need a big list, okay? You don't need a big audience. So if that's a concern for you, I want to help you dispel that myth here today, because all of the clients' success stories that I'm going to share with you in this masterclass were all accomplished without having a big list. So often the people who are ready to buy your higher ticket programs are already in your audience, okay? So you can start selling to them right away. So if right now you're telling yourself that there aren't people in your audience who can afford to pay you, that's not true. It isn't true. I know from personal experience, I know from helping my clients that it is not true. There are people right now who are already in your world, who are already orbiting around you, who are just waiting for you to give yourself permission to charge more. And they would gladly pay you to work with you at those higher price points, okay? So you don't need paid ads and you don't need a big list or a big audience, okay? If you couldn't tell, I am really focused on helping you dispel any myth or any reason that you're giving yourself as to why you think you can't do this, because I know that you can, right? And I want you to get that too. I want you to believe it too. So you also don't need complex funnels. If you think that you need to spend time figuring out all these systems and all these complex funnels that you need to have in place before you get out there and offer your services to more people, you're mistaken, all right? Because you don't need this stuff. If you can show up and you can post, if you can show up and do a 10-minute video, you can get clients and at the prices that you actually want to receive for your work, right? So often people think that in order for them to charge more, they need fancy branding and they need all these systems and they need these complex funnels and all this tech stuff. You don't, okay? No bells and whistles. You also don't need a big team, so a huge team, right? My clients usually are either flying solo or they might have a part-time VA. Because quite frankly, if you're selling high ticket, and high ticket in my world is $5,000 to $50,000 or more, right? So if you're selling high ticket, that means that you only need a handful of sales every month in order to achieve your goals. So why would you need a big team? You don't need it. Plus, I also teach you how to do this stuff without sales pages and without sales calls if you choose to not do them. So again, you don't need a huge team. You don't need people to create those sales pages and the copy and all that kind of stuff. You don't need closers on your sales calls. You don't need all the things that you might think that you need, all right? I want to, again, show you how to do this as simply as possible because quite frankly, this is for you. Yeah, I want you to make the kind of money that you know that you deserve to make and the kind of money that's going to allow you to provide for your family in the way that you want to. I also know that when you do this kind of work with your clients, when you do the deep transformational work with your clients, the results that they get are massive. And then that helps to create this huge ripple effect in the world, right? So it's for you and it's for them. And I want to help close the gap between where you are and where you're desiring to be because it's going to serve you and it's also going to serve your people powerfully. Make sense? Okay. So let's get into it. Here is a simple game plan for 50K months. So I just did 50K because it's right in the middle between the 20K or the 100K. I don't care what number it is that you want to hit. I just want to show you how doable it is. So we're just going to use 50K as a simple example, okay? So this can be accomplished by selling 10 clients into a $5,000 container. Simple, yes? What about 5 clients into a $10,000 container? Yet again, pretty simple, pretty doable, yes? What about 2 clients into a $25,000 container? Okay, my clients have sold at all of these price points. I have sold at all of these price points and above, right? I've sold as high as 120,000. So my point is, you can do this too. And you can do this no matter where you're starting from. You can do this if you're right now selling $100 an hour sessions. You can do this if you're selling $2,000 courses. You can do this if you're selling $10,000 for a year. Whatever it is that you're doing right now, you can create shifts, okay? And it's really about you giving yourself permission. We're going to talk about the inner game today and the outer game today, so that you can give yourself the permission to show up and do the badass things so that you can start making the money and the impact that you know that you're here to make, okay? All right, so here's what's possible when you make these shifts. When you say, you know what, I like this Desiree chick, and I like that she's telling me that I can do what I can do, because I know I can do it, but I just needed somebody else to say it so I could say, yep, I'm going to do it, right? Here's what's possible. And what you see, one of my clients who did this, she gave herself permission to raise her fees, even though at first she was a little bit skeptical. She was afraid that there weren't people who were going to pay her that much. She went ahead and she gave herself permission to raise her fees. And look at what she wrote. She said, it just hit me. 2 more in my master client this month is technically 100K, and she did it. She did it. She had a $100,000 month in her 2nd month of working with me, okay? So I know this is possible for you. Now, I will say that this client is in the make money niche. And the reason I want to say that to you is because all of the other client case studies that I'm going to share with you here today were not in the make money niche. And that's important for you to get, because I know that this is a piece of resistance that comes up. A lot of people will say, yes, but I don't help people make money. So who's going to pay me 5K? Who's going to pay me 10K? Who's going to pay me 30 or 50K? There are a lot of clients who will pay you whatever price point you desire to charge. Okay, this is the only client, remember that, this is the only client result that I'm going to share with you in this entire masterclass that has anything to do with helping her clients make more money. All of the other case studies that you're going to see have absolutely nothing to do with helping their clients make more money. Although indirectly, if your work is transformational, indirectly, your work does help people make more money, but you don't have to attach the work that you do to helping people make more money. And that's a bigger conversation for another day, but I just wanted you to be aware of that, okay? So let's talk about how to make this happen. How does this work? Right? Because I'm that kind of person. I'm like, when you show me something that I want, I'm like, okay, show me how to do it, right? So the first thing I want to start with, though, is the inner game stuff. This is about you becoming, what I like to say, is limitless, okay? I want to start here because so often when a client comes to me, they have been through all the courses, they have been through all the programs, and yet they still feel like there's something wrong, there's something missing. And quite frankly, it's because they haven't yet really mastered the inner game. And that's what we want to start with. We want to start with elevating who you're being. This is the most critical aspect of selling high ticket consistently, okay? I don't want you to just do a 20K month. I don't want you to just do a 50K month. I don't want you to just do a 100K month. I want you to do that over and over and over again. And I want you to go above, right? And the key to that consistency and that expansion is you becoming limitless. So what I'm talking about here is, number one, elevating your identity so that you are a match to your vision. Whatever vision it is that you have for yourself, you can achieve it. I truly believe that. With everything in my being, I know that to be true, okay? Now, you only have to elevate your identity so that you're a match to the vision. So what does this mean? In my world, that means remembering who you really are. We were born limitless. We were all born worthy and deserving. We were all born with the power that we have to create our own reality. We just have sometimes forgotten how powerful we are. There's conditioning that we had growing up, all of these stories that we were told about how we can't do this, or we're not good enough for that, or we're too much, or we're blah, 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 right? All of that stuff, it's been piling on top of you that makes you think that you can't have what you want. And nothing could be further from the truth. So what I like to do is help my clients remember who they really are. So often people are trying to be this new version of themselves, and they feel like that version of themselves is separate. It isn't. It's who you actually are. It's just buried underneath all of the lies, if you will. All of the flawed assumptions that we make about ourselves because of the experiences that we've had and the meaning that we've assigned to those experiences, or the things that we were conditioned to believe as we were growing up from society at large, right? So my work with my clients is helping them remember who they are. It's helping them release that BS so they come back to their truth, the truth that you are a powerful creator, the truth that you can be, do, and have whatever it is that you want. Okay, so we want to first start by elevating your identity. This is about you claiming who you really are. I am powerful. I am confident. I am rich. I am whatever it is that you decide that you actually are. Okay, that's your truth. So we elevate your identity, and then we want to leverage what I like to call your lie detector. So to me, any thought that you think about yourself that doesn't make you feel good is a lie. Okay? So any fear that you have that makes you think you can't be, do, and have what you want is a lie. Any doubt that you have that you can't be, do, and have what you want, lie. Okay? Most of my clients will come to me with this big fat bullshit, which is, I'm not good enough. Such a lie. I used to believe that for so long. You know, I would show up in the marketplace and I would put offers out there and people didn't buy right away. And there I went, I'm not good enough. Or somebody would reach out and they didn't buy right away. And I made that mean I'm not good enough, right? Or if I put something out there and somebody had a negative comment on my post, I'm not good enough. Something's wrong with me. I'm too much, right? These are the lies that we tell ourselves over and over again. And the thing is, we get so good at telling these lies that we don't even realize that they're lies, right? So when I say leverage your lie detector, what I'm talking about is you paying attention to how you feel. And anytime you feel not good, anytime you feel like there's something wrong with you, anytime you feel like you're not enough, or anything that makes you feel negative about yourself, that is a lie. So you want to pay attention to how you feel, because how you feel is going to then reveal to you, if you're paying attention, it's going to reveal to you the story that is not the truth. Okay? So this is why I don't fear fear and I don't fear doubt, because I know that it is going to reveal to me a lie that is currently active in my vibration so that I can release that lie and come back to truth. That's the work, right? That's how we stay in alignment with the identity that we've chosen for ourselves. So for example, if your identity is that I am a successful business owner, right? I have a thriving business. If that's the identity, well, then the idea that people don't want to buy from you is a lie, right? So we have that identity that we're going to come back, because that's our truth. We're going to come back to that every time, but we've got to be aware of the lies that we're telling ourselves, right? So anytime you think a thought, again, that doesn't feel good to you, then you know that it's not the truth. So you want to leverage the lie detector. And I say that because so often we try to stuff down or suppress these negative emotions because we're told that, you know, especially like in spirituality and stuff like that, or in law of attraction circles, that we can't feel a negative, we can't think a negative thought, we can't have a negative feeling, but you can, you actually should, right? Having feelings, experiencing your feelings is part of the human experience. You want to feel what you feel. You don't want to beat yourself up for it. You want to feel what you feel, and then you want to come back to truth, okay? You want to learn how to come back to truth. So leverage that lie detector so that you can activate your power. Because the moment you come back to truth, the moment you identify the story that isn't true, you come back to your truth. And that's how you activate your power, right? And that's how you show up in the world as the badass leader, as the powerhouse, as the, you know, 7-figure coach that you're here to be, the 6-figure coach that you're here to be, whatever it is that you're here to be, or the masterful healer that you know that you are, or the sought after consultant that you're here to be, whatever it is that you decide that you are, okay? So you want to elevate your identity, you want to leverage your lie detector, and you want to activate your power, okay? Because that's going to call your people towards you. That's going to, quite frankly, in my opinion, if we're looking at this beyond business, that's going to give you the quality of life that you're actually after. Because when we look at things from a business perspective, we want to make more money in our businesses. We want to attract higher quality clients. We want to charge more, whatever it is that we desire to do in our business. Why are we desiring that? Because we want to feel better, right? We want to feel a particular way. We want to feel confident. We want to feel alive. We want to feel joyful. We want to feel happy. We want to feel like we're having fun. Like we want to feel like things are working. Yes? So then this right here is the real prize. This is what you're actually after. This allowing yourself to become limitless, reclaiming the identity of who you actually came here to be, right? This is the real work, and this is the prize. You do this work, then everything else that I'm going to teach you here today, like that, right? It makes everything else effortless. This is the effort, if you will. It's in doing this work, okay? That's when, creating marketing and creating offers and all the things that we're going to talk about next starts to feel like play. And that's how it should feel, okay? All right, so here's what's possible when you do this stuff. I want to share with you a client that I work with. Her name, I don't share names, but this particular client, a success coach, okay? So she worked with clients who wanted to really work on their mindset so they could become more successful in life. And she went from $2,500 a month to over $26,000 in sales, over $15,000 in cash in her very first month of working with me, okay? That's how quickly things can shift for you when you allow yourself to become limitless, when you do the inner game stuff that we're talking about here today. Here's another client who sold her first 10K offer. She actually had a $20,000 week, okay? She actually had a $20,000 week as a healer. I told you I was going to share with you people who are not in the make money niche. And she went from charging about $300 an hour to her first 10K sale and then a 20K week. Pretty awesome. Yes? Okay. This is the power of giving yourself permission to become limitless. In other words, of remembering who you really are. But that's what I believe that our real purpose here is to remember who we are. We talk about expansion all the time. And to me, expansion is releasing the limitations so that we can flourish, that we can blossom, so that we can be who we know that we came here to be. Okay. All right. So now let's talk about what's next. Now let's talk about the doing, the external stuff, the outer game of selling high ticket consistently. This is doing the badass things. Okay. This is the stuff that, quite frankly, is simple when you do the inner work stuff that we just talked about. And I say that because the clients who come to work with me are doers. They're showing up in the marketplace. They're taking action. They're not afraid of doing the things. What they don't understand is why they're not receiving on the consistent level that they desire to be receiving on. And that's because they hadn't done the inner work that I just shared with you. Okay. So I know that once you start doing that inner work stuff, this stuff is easy for you. It's easy. Okay. So what is it? Number one, it's creating an offer that's based on your zone of genius. So what is it that you feel like you are the best at least for your clients at this stage of their journey? And I say it that way because sometimes we can feel a lot of pressure if we claim ourselves to be the best. You don't have to be the best in the world, but you have to feel that your clients are going to get massive value from working with you. You have to feel like the work that you do with your clients, like they're better off because they've worked with you. You have to feel that way. You have to take ownership of the value that you add to your clients' lives. And the value is tremendous. So often we undervalue ourselves because we're not even clear on what our zone of genius is. A lot of times it's because our zone of genius comes so easily to us. You have to remember, this is a combination of your gifts and your skills, right? So you have gifts that you often take for granted because it's just natural to you. And then you have skills that you've spent years developing. So that feels pretty easy to you too. So it's easy for you to overlook this stuff. It's easy for you to not really understand or appreciate how valuable that is to your clients. But when you get this, and then you structure an offer in a way that's fun and easy for you to deliver, so there's no hint of overwhelm, there's no hint of burnout or any of that kind of stuff that you might be afraid of that actually might cause you to subconsciously resist clients, then you are in the zone, right? And so when I talk about creating offers that are fun and easy for you to deliver, there are a variety of ways that you can create these offers. It gets to be however you want it to look. However, you're going to be able to serve your clients powerfully with less effort on your part, right? So this could be creating VIP days. This could be creating 6 to 12 week containers or year-long containers, one-on-one or group or combination hybrid type of programs. It can be whatever it is that you want it to be. All right, but you want to make sure that it's fun and easy for you to deliver and also for the client to consume so that they actually do the work and they get the kind of results that you know are possible. Yes. And so when my clients get this, I'm telling you, they fly because number one, they have the confidence to sell over and over again. When you're selling a container that's based on your zone of genius, rather than a program that you've put together that you might be good at, but you've stuffed it with a whole bunch of crap that you think you needed to put in it for it to sell, that doesn't fly. And it doesn't fly because you don't feel good about selling it, so you can't sell it, right? And because then you're going to worry about, is the client going to get results, that kind of stuff. By the way, you are not responsible for your client's results. This often comes up with my clients when they're wanting to charge more. One of the fears or one of the pieces of resistance that comes up is feeling like they have to then guarantee results because they've raised their price. And that's not what raising your price has. Like, raising your price has nothing to do with you guaranteeing results. You raise your price because you begin to really own the value that your work adds to your clients' lives, which is priceless, by the way, right? And then your fee also becomes part of your client's accountability, but it has absolutely nothing to do with you guaranteeing results because your client is actually their own guarantee, okay? So I want you to understand that as well. So you create, amazing offers that are based on your zone of genius, like I just said, and then you show up in the marketplace and you speak your truth unapologetically. You do not hold back. You do not filter yourself. You do not mute your voice. You do not say the thing that you really want to say because you're afraid that you might say the wrong thing and lose sales. You don't do that. You show up and you be who the fuck you came here to be, right? Because that's going to allow your people to connect with you. That's going to allow your people to see you as the obvious choice for them, okay? Because they need to hear the truth. They don't need to hear what everybody else in the marketplace is telling them. All that, light, fluffy stuff that doesn't actually help them shift. They need to hear truth because it's the truth that sets them free, right? So you have to have the confidence, which is, again, why we started with the inner work stuff. You've got to have the confidence, the courage, really, because courage comes before confidence. You have to have the courage to show up and speak your truth unapologetically. And you also have to know how to communicate your value powerfully. These are two different things, right? You can show up and speak your truth all day long, but if you are not talking about the benefit of working with you in a very powerful way, then your clients aren't going to get it. They're going to love you, right? But they're not going to see, well, how does this connect to me working with you and getting the results? So you want to know how to do both of these things, okay? So those are the badass things in terms of creating the offer and then the messaging. And by the way, I touched on this a little bit when it came to the offer, but I want to go back here to talk more about pricing before we move on. When it comes to pricing, this is really about you choosing the price that you feel most aligned with at this particular stage of your journey, okay? And I say it that way because your price can always go up, but you want to make sure that you choose a price that you feel aligned with. So I'm talking here today about creating 5K offers or 10K offers or 30K or 50K. I have clients who charge 80K, right? You can charge whatever it is that you want, but you have to stomach receiving the fee. And I say that because so often, sometimes people will say to me, they've been in other containers before, and their coach or their mentor told them that they needed to charge XYZ or that they couldn't charge XYZ. And that's not for anyone to tell you. No one can tell you how much is too much or not enough. No one can. This is something that you know. This is something that you feel. Your soul is going to tell you, like, what's the right price. And then you want to make sure that you're coming from soul, not your ego. What I mean by that is you're going to know, like, if you choose a price because it's what you see everybody else doing, and then your shoulders are like attached to your ears when you think about charging that, then you're not aligned with that price. It doesn't mean that your work isn't worth it. It just means that you're not yet aligned with that price. So you have to do that inner work so that you can get yourself into alignment with that price, or just choose another price that feels in alignment with you right now, knowing that you can always raise your fees later. Make sense? So I just want to get that out of the way in case I didn't really touch on it the way that I wanted to, because that's an important part of creating offers that are going to be able to sell, right? Like, if you put an offer out there that, while it might be worth $100,000, if you don't feel ready to command $100,000, you don't feel ready to receive that yet, it's okay to charge 50 and then move up to the 100. Or if you put an offer out there for 50 and you want to charge, and you really feel more aligned with 25, then charge 25 and then go up to the 50. Make sense? We want to make this as easy as possible for you and also for your people, because when you remove as much resistance as possible so that you are open, your energy is open to receiving the clients, then you get to serve more people, right? Like, and that's going to boost your confidence, and that's going to help them get amazing results, and everybody's going to be happy. It's going to be a win-win for everybody involved, okay? So now let's move on to the last piece of this when it comes to doing the badass things, which is strategy, all right? Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on strategy. I teach a whole module in my programs called 6 Weeks to Six Figures, where I walk you through strategies that have worked for me so that you can choose whatever is right for you. But the point that I want to make when it comes to strategy is that you want to choose a strategy that is aligned for you. So many clients come to me literally frustrated because they have been employing strategies that are not for them. I did this for a very long time in my business. I did a lot of things that I did not like to do, which is why they didn't work. I had so much resistance to the strategy. There was no wonder that they didn't work. And when I say they didn't work, I don't mean that I didn't get any results. I just mean that it was so much harder than it needed to be, that the sales were trickling in rather than flowing in, right? And so I noticed this a lot. I had a client who came to work with me. She was stuck at $9,000 a month. And one of the strategies that she was using was direct outreach, and she didn't like it. There's nothing wrong with direct outreach if that's what you want to do. But a lot of my clients don't like to do that, right? And so I said to her, well, if you don't want to do that, let's find something that you do love to do. And she loved to do challenges. So we switched her over to challenges. She doubled her income in the first month. Okay. So strategy is good and strategy is necessary, but it's got to be a strategy that you feel aligned with. All right. And when it's a strategy that you're aligned with, not only are you going to implement it consistently, but it's going to feel fun and easy for you to do. And this, by the way, when we talked earlier about at the very beginning where I talk about you don't need a big audience, you don't, right? You can choose to do strategies where it's just you. So it's just you showing up to your audience, doing a live stream, for example, or writing posts just to your audience, your immediate audience. So on your profile, in your Facebook group, if you have one, or your LinkedIn group, if you have one, on your LinkedIn, that kind of stuff. You can also do collaborations where you're showing up and participating in other people's groups, being the expert in other people's groups, or being a guest on podcasts. There's so many different ways that we can play with this. So again, I just want you to be mindful of the fact that there are lots of different strategies that you can choose, and you just want to make sure that you're focusing on those that feel in alignment to you. I never tell a client that they have to follow XYZ strategy, because it's not going, like I could, for example, I love writing posts all day long and I love doing 10-minute videos. If I have a client who doesn't want to get on video, then that's not going to be the strategy for that client, right? And that's okay, because it's not about what I do. It's about the fact that what I do, I'm in alignment with. And the same is true for you. It's not about the strategy that you use. What matters is the energy behind the strategy, right? So that means that you've got to choose a strategy that you're in alignment with. Make sense? Okay. So that's the doing of the badass things. So we talked about the being limitless, and now we're talking about doing the badass things. And now let's talk about having it all. All right. Before we get there, I want you to see what's possible. Okay. Here's a client who went from charging $1,000 for a 90-day container to selling a $10,000 package and a $7,500 package in the same day. She went from averaging $5,000 a month to a $17,500 day. Not bad, yes. And yet again, this client has nothing to do with helping her clients make money. She is a mindset coach, okay? Here's another client. Oh, I love this one. I love all my clients, by the way. This particular client, she told me she's going to charge $15,000 and she upped it to $18,000. I love when my clients lead themselves, right? This is what I mentioned before about choosing pricing that feels in alignment to you. And so 15 wasn't cutting it for her, so she raised it to 18. All right. She celebrated over $41,000 in her first 2 weeks of working with me, selling an $18,000 package and a $5,500 package. Okay. So, and I love that she says, thanks for pushing me, because I will challenge you. I will challenge my clients to stretch themselves. So what I mean by that is I won't tell you what to charge. I won't tell you what strategies that you need to implement. I won't tell you any of that stuff. I won't tell you what to do, but I will certainly call you up when you're playing small. That's what my clients hire me to do, right? So if a client comes and they make a great sale, it's awesome. And I'm going to celebrate them, because we need to celebrate ourselves. That's huge. So often as powerhouses, we don't celebrate ourselves. We're constantly moving from one achievement to the next, and we just push, push, push. I don't do that. You will see, if you haven't been noticing, in almost every single one of these exchanges with my clients, you'll hear me say either celebrate yourself or asking them how they're going to celebrate themselves, because we want to do that. We want to anchor that in. We want to anchor in the accomplishment, the achievement. We want to recognize ourselves. We want to praise ourselves. By the way, that's a way to keep yourself in alignment. Self-praise is a way to keep yourself in alignment. So often we're beating ourselves up. We're constantly telling ourselves that we're not there yet. So we have to take moments out to celebrate ourselves. And once we celebrate ourselves, then I'm going to call you up to your next level, right? Because when clients come to work with me, their vision is here, but I know that what's possible is here, right? Like I know it's here. So I will always challenge a client to rise to their next level. And it's the client's decision whether or not that they're going to rise. But I will tell you, I've had clients come in and they say to me, their goal is $15,000 a month and they do $60,000 that month. Why? Because once they achieve a certain income goal, I'm like, what if it's possible that you can do more? What if it's possible that you can do more? And then they're like, oh yeah, what if it is possible? And then they do more, right? That's what I love to do, because I believe that we're all here to expand. I believe that any goal that you have for yourself is a fraction of what is possible. That's what I believe. And it's just fun for me. And it's also fun for my clients to be able to realize what they're actually capable of. Okay. So now let's talk about having it all. Okay. This is about continuous expansion, which I just alluded to. I am really into this. I believe, again, that we're here to expand. We're all here to play a bigger game. And I just love to see people thrive in this way, rather than feeling like we have to constrict ourselves and we have to shrink and play small, because this is what a lot of powerhouses do. Like you will achieve big goals, and if you don't get the feedback that you're looking for, you don't get the support or the acknowledgement that you're looking for, what happens? We often contract. We often think that there's something wrong with us. We shouldn't play this big. So many times that's happened to me, where I remember I did my first $500,000 in business and I shared it with a friend, and she was silent. And I was like, wow, you know what I mean? And I was like, it felt uncomfortable because there was no one that I knew who was doing it like this, you know? And I started to feel myself contracting, and I was like, nope, let me get myself another coach and mentor, because I need to keep going, right? Because so often that's what we do. I will share with my clients as well. Like when you raise your prices, this is something you want to keep private. This is not something you want to run out and tell the world about. You can share with a client who reaches out, but you don't want to tell the whole world, especially not family and friends who might not understand the pricing in our business. I've had clients do that, where we work together to release their limiting doubts, to raise their fees. And then they went and they shared it with their parents, and their parents were like, nobody's going to pay you that much. And then we had to do the work all over again to get them back in alignment with their fee. You have to remember that not everyone understands our world. Not everybody understands our business. Not everyone understands the pricing that we charge. Not everyone understands the kind of money that's possible to be made in our industry. So not everyone is going to support it, right? So this is something that you're going to want to, when it comes to continuous expansion, you're going to want to be around people who do get it, who can encourage you to expand, rather than people who kind of look at you in a way that makes you think, this isn't safe. I can't do this yet. I shouldn't do this yet. This is wrong, or you feel guilty, or you feel ashamed. You don't want that, okay? So in my opinion, having it all is really about being able to continuously expand, to continuously stretch yourself. So it requires a couple of things of you. So in my opinion, what that looks like is, number one, having the kind of support so that you can quickly evaluate what's working, what's not working. So often, I can't tell you how many times a client will put out an offer, and if somebody, like they raise their fees, they put out an offer and somebody doesn't buy right away, then they start thinking it's not working and they go into this negative spiral, which is why they come to me for support, because then I can help them see and shift their perspective. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is missing. And then they're like, oh, and they make a little tweak to their message or something like that. And then all of a sudden the sales start flowing in, right? So you want to be able to quickly evaluate what's working and what's not. So whatever is working, you want to double down on. Whatever's not working, we want to ditch, or we want to tweak, right? So that we can start getting the results, so that you can keep moving forward, okay? Then you also want to make sure that you have the feedback for fine tuning so that you can accelerate your growth. So this is often, we're looking at this from a couple of perspectives. We're looking at it from the external perspective. We also want to look at it from the internal perspective. So sometimes you need to make sure that you have someone who's holding space for you, so that you can allow those fears and the doubts to bubble up, because while you can coach yourself, you can't see what you can't see. You can't see your blind spots. There are going to be stories that you're telling yourself that are hidden from you, because you've practiced those stories so long that they feel like truth, right? So you're going to want to make sure that you have somebody who can hold space for you, so that you can fine tune how you're thinking, right? And shift how you're feeling, so that you can actually accelerate your growth. And then also you want to be able to see evidence of what's possible, so that you expand your vision. I kind of talked about that earlier before, right? Constantly expanding the vision, so that you realize, wait, I can do this. What else can I do? What else can I do? What else can I do? Right? I mean, when you think about it from that perspective, doesn't that make you feel alive? right? Like you start to achieve a goal, like you set out to achieve a goal that you knew that you could do, but you had a little bit of hesitation, you had a little bit of doubt. Then you hit that goal, and then you realize that there's a whole nother level that you can go to, and you just keep going and going and go. Like, that's how we're supposed to live life, in my opinion. I believe that life is about, like I said before, it's about expansion. It's about playing a bigger game. That's what makes you feel alive. That's what makes you feel happy. That's what makes you feel joyful. It's not going to be easy all of the time, right? There's going to be some work to be done. There's going to be times when you really have to muster the courage, but it does get easier as you go along. You begin to develop the internal fortitude that allows you to go for what you want and get it again and again and again and again, right? So that's what I wanted to share with you here today when it comes to having it all. And this is what gets to be possible for you. I had a client, she did a $30,000 sales day, one day, 30K in sales. There are some coaches who make 30K. Actually, some of the success stories that I shared with you here today were of clients who are making $30,000 a year. And you saw the results that they're making now, right? And then this client, $30,000 in a day. There are some people out there who are doing $30,000 in a month. This client did it in a day. This is possible, and it's possible for everyone. That's my belief. My belief is it's possible for everyone. Now, will everybody do it? No. But is it possible? Yes. Okay. Yes, it is. I have clients who do $30,000 in a sale, by the way, full pay. Here's another client, 60K day. Okay. Also, what is she going to do to celebrate? She hadn't figured it out yet. Okay. But my point is, this is possible. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible. And I actually want to ask you, if you knew that this was possible for you, how would that change your life? Right? Maybe your goal isn't a 30K or 60K day, but maybe it's a 30K month or 60K month. How would that change your life? Right? What are some of the things that you'd be able to do that you're not able to do now? Who else would benefit? Right? Your family would benefit. I'm sure your friends would benefit. Perhaps causes that you really care about, charities that you want to give back to, right? Your clients, I'm sure, because when you feel properly compensated for the work that you do, the way that you show up in your containers, the way that you show up and lead, so much more powerful, right? I want you to think about that for yourself, okay? And now I want to say to you that you've got this. I truly believe you've got this. I truly believe that if you have a desire, that you have within you everything that you need to realize that desire. Now, I shared with you how simple it can be. And the truth is, it is simple. It's not always easy, especially if you're doing it on your own. Okay? So what I want to invite you to today is I want to share with you the ways that I can have your back if that's something that you desire. Okay, I totally get this isn't going to be for everybody. You've got to be at a certain place in your life and in your business where you feel worthy of receiving the support that you actually provide to your people, right? I can't tell you how many times a client will come to me and they'll say to me that working with me was a gift to themselves because they finally allowed themselves to receive the level of exceptional support that they provide to their clients. And I'm telling you, it is a game changer because I know from my own personal experience, you need a you for you. You need a you for you. It will change your life, okay? So if this is what you're desiring, there are a couple of different ways that I can help you. So I'm gonna let you choose your adventure. I'm gonna give you a brief overview of how I support clients, and then you choose whatever direction is best fit for you. So the first option I have is a group container. It's an intimate group coaching container. I like intimacy because I like to make sure that I can see all of my clients and support you the way that you need to be supported. So the high ticket powerhouse is an intimate group container where we're going to work together to create aligned offers, okay? We're going to work on your pricing, make sure that you're choosing a pricing that you feel in alignment with, a price that you feel confident that you can charge, okay? And then create the messaging and then step into that next level version of yourself, that limitless version of yourself. That's what we're going to do together in the powerhouse container, the high ticket powerhouse container. So there are a couple of different levels for that. And I can have a private conversation with you about that if that's what you're interested in, all right? The next option for you is Powerhouse on Fire. This is my mastermind. So this is, if you want everything that we do in Powerhouse, the Powerhouse group coaching program, but you want a more intimate container. So you want to be with a smaller group of visionary leaders who are going to inspire you to play bigger than ever, right? So that's what the Powerhouse on Fire container is about. It's a year-long mastermind. So if you're interested in that, I can talk to you about how that works as well. And then also I offer one-on-one, so private support. So for coaching and mentoring, this is for you if you decide that you want to be held in your bigness and in your messiness, right? Privately, because not everybody wants to do that in a group. Even though my containers are intimate, some people just want private support, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? So in private, this is really for you to free yourself to be who you came here to be that limitless version of yourself, that 6-figure, 7-figure powerhouse that you know that you're capable of being, the version of you that you know you were born to be. That's what that container is about, okay? So of course, we will work on your offers as well. We'll work on your pricing, we'll work on your messaging, we'll work on mapping out a business model that is aligned to your desired lifestyle in that container. And then we're gonna do all of the stuff that you need in order for you to really feel the confidence that you need in order to get out there and sell over and over and over again, all right? So those are the ways that you can work with me. And if this is something that you desire, here's how to reach out. You can message me on LinkedIn. Let's see. You can message me on Facebook. There should be a slide for that, but if it doesn't pop up, that's okay. You can message me on LinkedIn. You can message me on Facebook. You can message me on Instagram. Any of those social media platforms is fine. I'm there all of the time. So you can send me a quick message and ask me for more details about any of the programs, or we can have a conversation to make sure that it's the right fit for you. So I will tell you this. I only work with clients that I believe that I can actually help. So if you're concerned that maybe you can't charge what you want to charge in your niche, I will let you know if I believe that you can or you can't. I will also tell you right now up front that if your work is transformational, there is no way in hell that you can convince me that you cannot charge whatever it is that you want to charge, all right? So I truly believe that transformational work is priceless. And so if your work helps people change their lives, if you want to charge 5K, if you want to charge 50K, if you want to charge 100K or more, I'm going to show you how you can do that, okay? So just let me know what kind of containers you're offering and we can talk about that, go back and forth. Let me know what, even the pricing that you're thinking about, and I can let you know. I won't tell you that you can or you can't because I know that you can, right? It's really going to be about you believing that you can. That's really what it's going to be about. And I will only let people in my programs who lead themselves into the program. So what that means is that I'm not going to chase you. I am not going to try to convince you. I'm not going to try to talk you through any objections, right? Like, that's your work. You've got to show up knowing that you can do this, because I know I can do it and I know that you can do it. You also have to know that too. So if you show up knowing that you can, believing in yourself, even if you have some fear and some doubt, if you can lead yourself through that fear and doubt, and you can decide to step into this container, any one of these containers on your own, then I know that you're going to fly, right? Because if you can lead yourself through the fear and the doubt, then you have enough trust in yourself that you're going to show up in the container and be able to pick up what I'm putting down and get the kind of results that you and I both know are actually possible for you. All right. So I hope you got the value that I wanted you to get here today. And until we do speak, I hope that you're up to big, bold things in your life and your business. Take care.